Hello.
So, we're doing something a little different than usual. But this is a bit different from usual circumstances. You know? So, we have let me pull it up on stream here. I had it and then I lost it. One moment. The Gearbox main event show thing. So, what we're gonna do is, unless we guess we could skip around. The problem is I don't know when the timestamp for the Risk of Rain 2 is.
Um.
Let me message Shoop. I know Shoop's seen it. Shoop or Lake.
Gonna look up my comments.
The comments might hold spoilers. That's why I haven't done it.
That's true. I shall not.
Maybe I can message Lake, because I don't know if Shoop's on. Tiny Lake Squid cameo.
He's streaming currently.
Oh, shit. No, if he's streaming, he's not going to be able to answer. Shit. Never mind. Oh, thank you for the follow. We're trying to...
What's up?
Oh, hold on. Somebody DM'd me.
Oh.
Also, hold on. Okay. That seems kind of like spam.
I think it's early on in the show, like 7 minutes in.
Should I just start from the top then? I guess we can just.
Where you are. I think it's fine.
Chief Communications Officer of Gearbox Entertainment, Dan Hewitt.
Hello, PAX people! That is fantastic. I hope you all are doing well. And sorry, I just always think, wow, there are so many people here. This is fantastic. Thank you for making time for Gearbox, and we love seeing you all. Whether you're here in the hall or whether you're watching online, you're a part of our community, a part of our Gearbox family, and we love seeing you all.
I'm here for rain.
This show has a particular special meaning for me, apart from the fact that I just love PAX in general. I have been out of the office for the past few months. my husband and I had our first child. So I have been on paternity leave, and I just came back from paternity leave like 48 hours ago. So it's like, oh my gosh. And I tell you what, I sort of have a thing. I was debating whether to do it or not, and I'm being completely serious. Do y'all want to see a picture of my kid? Hey, Sean, can we load up that picture of my kid? And if you think I'm kidding, that is absolutely her. She is a sweetheart, and she makes my world go round, and she's the best. But, and while
I'm sure that would be
keep showing you
whiplash
pictures of my
going
little
from
girl all day
that
long,
to on. Oh, okay, you son of a bitch. I thought it was. I thought he was being
incredible
serious.
show for you all today. We've got some great people here from the Risk of Rain 2 team who are going to be talking about, that's right, who are going to be talking about what's going on with that incredible game that I love playing so much. But we also have a whole group of folks here from the Borderlands 4 team.
Don't care.
How about that State of Play? Was that State of Play with Sony awesome? That was an amazing show. But we've got a great group of folks who are going to be doing deep dive conversation. We're also going to be doing a Q&A. We've taken questions from the community online as well as people in the audience. And we've got Randy here who's going to be doing a giveaway. So I'm excited about that. Stay with us for the giveaway. So why don't we get started? What do y'all think? All right. Coming out now are Roger and Bruno from our Risk of Rain 2 team. Roger and Bruno?
Right into it. Okay. Also, chat, we are super late to our
Lovely
reaction
to see
here.
y'all.
Crazy.
Hi,
Avoiding
I'm Bruno
spoilers
Fontaine,
is
lead
nuts.
designer for Risk of Rain 2.
And I'm Roger Court, Technical Director for Risk of Rain 2.
Oh man, I'm so excited to be here. Okay, since Hopu Games and Gearbox first launched Risk of Rain 2 in early access right here at PAX, it's been so exciting to see over 10 million people engage with Lemurians, Wisps, and the adorably squishy Gubs.
Now, for the uninitiated, let's bring you up to speed. Risk of Rain is a fast-paced, third-person shooter roguelike where up to 4 friends are dropped onto a hostile alien planet and forced to survive as long as possible. The catch? Time is your enemy. The longer you play, the harder it gets. You choose from a roster of up to 16 unique playable survivors, each with their own playstyle, and battle increasingly difficult enemies across dozens of environments. It's all about finding loot, stacking wild power-ups, and balancing risk
I
versus
remember when it
reward
was 6 survivors at the
as you either try to escape the planet
testing phase.
or stick around and press your luck for ever longer, crazier runs. Most of the time, though, you're gonna die.
That's true. Diving into Risk of Rain 2, one quickly finds out that death is only the beginning. Every playthrough has the potential to unlock powerful new survivors,
It's kind of
items,
crazy. I
artifacts,
started Risk
all
of
in
Rain
purpose of the
2
next run. Now,
when it was half
think
that roster.
Adrenaline, chaos, and strategy
When I started
rolled up
playing.
all into one death-defying experience. Oh yeah, that's right. It's still me. Sorry.
A little more.
After the early access update, Risk of Rain 2, we went into full release 1.0. Then a year after, we had the anniversary update where we had Bandit and a slew of other content. To be honest, Multi's best skill came out of that. And then after that, we had Gearbox and Hopu Games combined together to go straight into the DLCs.
All right. Survivors of the Void was a huge content boost for the game. It added 2 playable survivors, Railgunner and Void Fiend, along with new stages, new enemies, a new final boss, and over 40 new items, including corrupted Void variants that can totally flip the way your build plays. The DLC also introduced the Simulacrum, a wave-based, oh man, I always forget this one. Let me see. An endless, wave-based, something or other. It's a simulacrum. It's cool. For those that want a purer form of multiplayer chaos. Now, a year ago, we released our second expansion,
I assume
Seekers
they were
of the Storm.
looking for wave
This
defense.
time bringing 3 new survivors,
I believe it's
along
been a
with
year.
a branching route to complete the game, known as the Path of the
They
Colossus.
said a year ago.
This is a multi-stage
They
trek
launched
that
this.
scales a giant statue and includes new stages, new items, new enemies, and elite types, and culminates in a new final boss challenge.
That's awesome. So earlier this week, we released Phase 3 of the improvement updates. Phase 1 being the items, where we overhauled all of them in conjunction with the community, ensuring that we increased the fun, improved the balance, and created new synergies between old and new items. Then we moved on in March to Phase 2, which was the False Sun boss fight and its redesign, making sure that encounter had a glow up, it was polished and compelling, all while keeping the challenge that Risk of Rain players love. And then finally, Phase 3, the Survivor update. Seeker, False Sun, and Chef. All their skills got a massive update and glow up. And we also added multiple new abilities so that players have more choice and creativity in their runs.
Now, we're super proud of the work that went into those updates, as well as the reception we've received from fans and our community. If you haven't already,
So what do
we
you
truly
think? Is
believe
it gonna be a big
there's never been
update
a
or
better time to play Risk of Rain
a little
2.
in between?
I don't know.
Now I know what you're thinking. That's a lot of content. But believe me, we're far from finished. Fans have been asking us, what's next for Risk of Rain 2?
It's gotta be
Today
like
I'd like
the
to share with
imps,
you all a
right?
sneak
The imp dimension? Oh, this is a different cinematic. No, it's the same one. What is... Soul. Wait. Is this an expansion based on the eyeball mechs? It looks kind of like it. Because we still don't know where they came from. Huh.
Wow.
Huh.
That looks so good. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. All right. So now, first off, thank you, Roger, Bruno. That was great. Now I want to bring onto the stage two of my best friends from Gearbox. Please put your hands together for Randy Pitt.
Okay, I think we're done here. just gonna look. Yeah, it's gonna be Borderlands. They talk other stuff, I guess. Cool. I think we're done here.
I think so, yeah.
That was a small. I'm kind of surprised. Do they have? Well, we already saw this. Please take your time and actually be good. So that's Seekers of the Storm. Do they have an update? They do. All right. I guess we can read through this real quick if you'd like. What do you think? See if there's anything hidden here they didn't talk about, because it was just a little trailer. Okay.
Shit, I forgot I was muted. I said, yeah, go for it.
Okay. But so what's next? Even before we wrapped up Seekers of the Storm roadmap, a lot of people were asking what our plans are for the future of Risk of Rain 2. Let's just kind of... So now that Seekers of the Storm is officially relaunched, new chef, we want to give you an even more... a bigger view of what to expect, and that it's the Alloyed Collective stuff. I don't think I was expecting that, by the way. Like, was that what you would have expected for an expansion?
No.
It's strange. I'll have my own thoughts on it, I'll save it, because it does seem a little weird to go from the void and exploring that crazy whole shtick to all this, like, whole new lore that ties in with, Providence to this. But this is also one of the bigger mysteries of Risk of Rain 2 right now. Well, because we don't know anything about these things. They're just here. Kind of like the imps. So this is kind of funny. So it doesn't come to mind, you know? Well, we've been releasing updates for Seekers of the Storm, which is still baffling that they went, alright, we just fixed Seekers of the Storm. Here's the next one. We've also brought in some additional folks that are familiar with Risk of Rain to help us build out the next DLC. Oh, so are they... Did they? Huh. It almost sounds like they hired some people for Risk of Rain 2 that's like... know the series well.
Master 2 survivors, 1 returns, 1 debuts.
I was
That's
getting
interesting.
to it.
Sorry, I got excited.
We're traversing deep into the Solus-controlled territory of Petrichor 5. That means scores of new stages and new constructs. One of them is pretty cute, but we'll get to that later. Okay. Let's see. Here's a sneak peek. Hello, Vic! About the new DLC announcement. Yeah, we just watched it. And we're going through the dev diary. So 6 new stages, scrapyards, 2 machinery-choked fortresses, and buried caverns. Each biome pushes deeper into the territory with dynamic layouts and environmental stuff. I hope they push, like, Metroid Prime 2, like, levels of, like, machine... When I think of, like, machine fortresses, I think of, like, Metroid Prime 2. And, like, the Sanctuary Fortress. The 2 survivors, one's new, one's not. Okay. I'll get to that, too. 7 new drones. That's interesting. Or 7 drones, not 7 new. Is that 7 new, or is it gonna total to 7? Because I don't even think we have...
I think it's just total 7 and there's some new ones, maybe. I don't know.
New drone types let you augment your playstyle with some wild abilities. With the help of a new station, you can even modify your drones. That's interesting. That's actually really cool, because drones are kind of like, once you hit Monsoon, they're kind of just there. You could grab them, but it's like, they're not necessary. Fight 7 enemies. Souls have been gathering and building as they perfect their plan. Massive bosses face a brutal new teleporter encounter and a final boss that reshapes the endgame. Let's go! We can please keep the trend going. From False Sun, fight this thing, fight Mithrix, fight Voidling. Just do all 4. I love that. 15 new items. That's pretty good. So, yeah, they kind of teased somebody here. While much of the team is now working on Alloyed Collective, that doesn't mean we're totally finished with Seekers of the Storm. Overall, we're really happy with the quality of DLC 2. It's landed after all these updates, but there are still a few more things the team would like to plug away at. Like we mentioned on Monday, we've also been working on an optimization update for the game's system memory. DLC 1 and DLC 2 were pretty chunky pieces of content. DLC 3 promises to be similarly sized. When we add more content to the game, the last thing we want is someone's experience to be degraded because there's just more game to load. That's why we're taking on this challenge. We expect the most significant impacts of this to be felt on low specs PCs and Nintendo Switch. Okay. And that's a wrap. So, there's a lot to unpack here. First off, not at all what I was expecting the update to even be. I love this, like, aesthetic, though. You know what I'm saying? This, like, cyberpunk kind of, like... Is that the word?
Sure.
We need new versions of Void items. Doubt we're gonna get it. Maybe. Probably not. I feel like that was a Void thing. Literally the last thing... You even heard what I thought it was gonna be. It was like... The Imps was a big whole... Like, it was the Imps and the Void were the 2 expansions Hopu wanted to do. And they did the Void and then kind of sold. So I keep thinking, oh, they're gonna do the Imps next. Because the Imps are also not native to Petrichor. They're from a different planet. And they're invading. Their whole lore is basically trying to... they're basically warmongering, and they're trying to take over the planet for themselves. And they have a leader that they always keep teasing that we've not seen. So, there was that. The only other one I could have thought of was stuff related to New Kahana, which has, like, this whole cult deal in the lore. As you can tell by some items like New Kahana's opinion and stuff like that. But this Allied Collective thing seems to be kind of similar to the idea of their plans for an Imp expansion, just focusing on these dudes, the mechs. I think that's an interesting direction to take it. I just did not expect that at all. Is there anything we could see from these? Because they're not going to show anything, but Sky Sanctuary, it looks like they might be taking that kind of vibe from Metroid Prime, and I really hope so. It's really... That's what I'm thinking of. I got ODST vibes from the Halo 3, like, ODST vibes from this. Like, there had to be some inspiration for that. Also, I need to do that before we start. Wow. 6 new stages. That's pretty cool. Wondering how that's gonna work. I kind of hope, unlike Seekers, we get, if it's like a path thing like Seekers, that it's not just 3 stages, you know what I mean? We had a couple, you know what I'm saying? But, like...
Yeah.
Once you got onto the path, you were fighting the final boss by stage 4, and it's like, I think that's a little early, so I hope they do something about that. They've added a lot of stage 1 variants too, so there's that. I'm curious how they're gonna basically balance it out. The 2 new survivors... There's... Oh, how do I even speculate on this? I feel like I'm gonna have to cover this. I'm gonna have to make a video on this. Because right now, I feel like because when I think of drones, I think Commando. Or, not Commando, why did I say that? Captain. Captain's whole thing is all the drones for microbots, but how is this new Survivor gonna implement drones like as like a pet class sort of thing?
Don't know.
And are we going to who could return fit this thematically? Granted, they just kind of threw Chef into Seekers of the Storm, and like it kind of worked. Some Risk of Rain 1 thematics in Risk of Rain 2 with the false sun and all that. So it kind of worked. I don't know how that would work here outside of really all that's left is Enforcer, Miner, and then Pilot and Drifter from Returns. So I have no idea. The new drone sounds interesting because it's a new system. I have this feeling that the Enforcer character from Risk of Rain 1 may return. I'll talk about that in a second.